And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another qualifier here for EPT Spring, for ESL Masters Spring 2024, the Asia Open Qualifier number 2. I'm of course your ZvT, and with me, I'm joined by a lovely duckling slash cat that I've not been joined by for a very long time. It's been years, Papi. Welcome, AsherBro.
What's up? What's up? I had to join for the Asia region, of course.
Of course, for our boys, Papi, for our boys. It's great to see you again, Asher. Great to see you. It's been so long. It's been, you know, I feel like you've lived your life. You know, you've gotten married, you've had kids. You know, you retired, and then we're back. We're back where it all began.
Yeah, and then my wife died in a tragic accident, and I got all the money.
Oh my god, let's go.
Yeah.
And now you're back to casting
Crazy.
StarCraft.
Yeah, now I'm back to StarCraft. I'm like, I got all the money. I got everything that I ever wanted, and there was one thing that was missing.
Let's go. It's time to burn it all away in StarCraft somehow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I'm like, I haven't been sad in a while. I need StarCraft in my life again.
Oh god. But it's good to have you back. Actually, good to have you back. I'm curious because actually it's a couple of weeks old, maybe like 1.5, 2 weeks old now. We're on a new patch. Have you been experiencing much of the new patch or seeing much of it?
No. I don't know anything. I thought this would be fun as well to like come at it with fresh eyes. The only thing that I really know is the Cyclones are back to they're kind of like tuned back down to the rest of where the Terran units are, where it's like expensive and not very good, but you have to make it anyway. So it's like in line with all the rest of the Terran units now.
Yeah, it's a shame that like I'm bringing you on to cast, and you know, I don't know if you remember this. It was a brief stint where we had the new Cyclone, only a couple of months, but like that was like your expertise, you know, casting the Cyclone Wars, like that was your forte.
Yeah, I got a sound clip on Colossal Gulpstream, which is like everything that I ever wanted out of StarCraft. Like that's why I stopped casting.
Oh,
I can't really top that.
You peaked already. True.
I did. I've achieved everything I wanted.
Yeah, the Cyclone has been changed. You know, Widowmine drops have been adjusted and nerfed as well. There has been a couple of changes here or there. Some matchups impacted more than others. I think maybe even more so than the patch itself. We have a new map pool, and the new maps they're pretty crazy.
Yeah, the new maps are really weird. I've heard not the best things about them, but the few games that I have seen, I've seen strategies that I haven't seen before, so I think it's interesting, and especially coming into like a bit more of a creative region like Asia, when we've got the likes of Mio, players like that. I know Mio's not playing today, but I think this is a region that's gonna be a bit more likely to do some weird stuff. Yeah,
I would hope so. I feel like there's a lot of potential for creativity, and again, we're still like in the early stages of the new patch. A lot of people are still experimenting, exploring the new maps as well. But yeah, as you said, like I think the biggest criticism I think for the new map pool is that like all the new maps are weird, and there's like no new standard maps, right? So like they all have like these weird quirks, and they all allow for these like, I guess, interesting or like different play styles, but like, you know, obviously the pro players don't enjoy that. they want their standard maps, you know. They want their standard like 3-4 base setup, you know, with like high ground and all this stuff, and that's just not there. That's smooch.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I played on this map pool, I would, after every game, want to veto that map, and eventually I'd just run out of maps, and I'd press ranked to queue up, and it just wouldn't do anything because I'd have every single map vetoed.
Oh, now you know how I feel the last couple of seasons.
True.
But I can feel that as well. I actually haven't laddered on the new map pool yet. I haven't had the time to.
Yeah,
I want to, but
yeah, you haven't played since you came back from Europe, right? I didn't really catch too many of your streams, but I did see occasionally I'd like wake up at 5 a.m. and see that you're streaming and just go back to bed. But did you get too far on the EU ladder?
No, I had so little time. Like whenever I laddered on EU, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ladder, and I just ladder like once every 2 weeks, you know. And I was just always rusty, you know. Like I was just never able to get into the rhythm over in EU, which is a shame. Like I would have liked to have laddered a little bit more. But something that the stream knows is that ever since returning from Europe, guess what happens? Yeah, I'm sure you can.
You got jet lagged for like 2 weeks?
No, what happens whenever I go outside?
You. I was gonna. I'm not used to censoring myself for stream. You got COVID.
Yeah. There you go. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I got back, and like after like 1 or 2 days, like bam, like it hit me, and it's been like 2 weeks, and I've still been sick. So I've still been recovering. So.
Yeah. Everything that I've heard is like, you basically just can't travel that far these days without getting COVID. It's just kind of assumed. It's like you get on a plane, it's like you're sick for the next week.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah. You know, it's just don't go outside. Just don't do it. It's just not worth it.
True. I mean, at least you didn't get sick on the way.
True.
It's probably better to get sick on the way back.
True. You're not wrong. You know, I could have gotten sick both ways. That would have been the worst. Yeah. Because I've still been recovering. Because that, basically, whenever I've been casting this past like 2 weeks, like I'm like non-stop like muting to cough and stuff, and I could not do that laddering, so I just haven't been laddering for the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I'm getting better though.
Wow. Shout out to Ryan in the chat, throwing shade while not playing in the qualifiers. It's interesting tactic there.
True. Yo, I called Ryan out yesterday. I was like, Buffy, what's going on? You know, like why aren't you on the bracket? And Ryan's like, oh, you know, I'm retired, right? Like I'm past my prime.
He's been
like,
no. This is fake news. He's been playing.
Yeah.
He's been grinding.
True.
He's been playing like 20 games a day.
He's like 6K.
I don't know about that, but I don't know if it's passion, but there's something there. Something's a little wrong. Sometimes I just see people playing ladder games, and I ask them if they're okay, and they say yes, but like, you don't see the light behind the eyes. You know what I mean?
Do you remember? It was a couple of months ago, before I went to Poland, when you took a really long break, you started playing again. I did the same thing to you. Do you remember? I was like, mate, are you okay? I was like, I suddenly saw you playing again. I was legit concerned. I was like, oh, did something happen?
Yeah.
Like...
No, the answer's no. The answer's always no. But I don't want to hear that while I'm playing.
True.
So every now and then, you have to remind yourself that it's exactly what you remember. It doesn't change. Yeah, it really doesn't.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know, you can't experience the good without the bad, right? You know, every now and then you have to like suffer a little bit, you know, to be happy, right? Like otherwise you just don't know how good you have it, you know, if you don't have StarCraft. So
yeah. It's like the Sisyphus and the boulder, except instead of a boulder, it's just like a ball of crumpled up paper, and you're just throwing it, and then it rolls back down the hill, and then you're throwing it again. And like Sisyphus is next to you, and he's like jacked because he's been like rolling the boulder, so he's like really strong and jacked, and like he's just happy because he's been working hard. And then you've just been throwing a paper ball.
I like it because you're insinuating, like, you know, you're going through all this like suffering and through all this pain and like trials and tribulations, but you're not gaining anything from it. You're not.
No.
Oh, I see.
And Sisyphus is next to you, and he's like, he's got all the girls as well. He's got your girls. That's what's happening here.
There you go.
Or your boys, you know.
True. He's got Ryan.
True. I don't know about that.
But it looks like we have our first series here. It looks like we have our first matchup. We actually didn't quite get to go. We were catching up, but the bracket is live. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the bracket yourselves. It is top 4. Top 4 will make it through. They will qualify for the closed qualifiers. So plenty of spots are available here, and it's great to see a lot of returning players coming back here to the qualifier.
Yeah, cool to see Oreo today as well. I know he wasn't playing yesterday.
Yeah, do you know why?
I hope he was at the club.
No, that's what.
Actually?
Unironically, he was out there
Where's my
touching
info?
grass, and he was a little bit inebriated.
True. That's my boy.
But it's great to see, as you mentioned, Oreo, he's back. But I have to, funada some people as well. Not just Ryan and XZ, he's not in the bracket. Likewise, we had Pez yesterday. We don't have Pez today.
Oof. Give that Finara.
Yeah.
Speak your truth, brother.
Pez did well. He made it to a qualifying match, by the way. He made it all the way to a qualifying match, and he's gone.
Yes. Yeah, I saw his qualifying matches in chat, in Discord, and they were rough, but he played well to them.
Yeah. There we go.
Rewind's just really good.
Go for it, man. Go.
All right. In the top left-hand corner of this map, which I don't know the name of, it is the Red Terran. It is KevinLiu.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amphion, we have his opponent. We have the Australian Zurich player. He is one of our own. He's representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Oreo. The fanfares, they're back. Asher is back. The only thing we're missing is Rufus Cam. How's Rufio, by the way? How's Rufio?
I ate him.
Oh my god.
No, he's okay. I don't know where he is though.
Okay.
He's been annoying. He keeps on he's been jumping on my desk a little bit less coordinated than usual.
Oh.
So before he was kind of like gracefully leaping onto my desk, and now he just kind of like works out how he's gonna land once he's already up here. He kind of slides around, falls onto the keyboard a little bit.
Oh my god.
Stumbles. Yeah. I think he's getting older, but
yeah.
he just kind of does his thing now.
It sounds like it's interesting. It's interesting, yeah. So a little bit less graceful than he used to be, but still has plenty of pizzazz.
He's still kicking. Yeah. What the fuck is this map?
Okay, so we're probably gonna have to do this for every single new map, but as we mentioned, every new map has a weird feature. As you see here, that to actually get a Reaper Scout off, you actually don't have a way into the main base outside of through the natural. We have a pylon Reaper cliff wall here at the natural base as well, or a ramp on the right hand side.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you can't play 4-gate Blink either, so I'll take it.
Yeah, true. Can't play 4-gate Blink. Likewise, we have minerals here on the left-hand side for both players. Is to gain access to maybe a would-be triangular third base or a fourth base location. It does create like a new rush distance or a rush path here on the left-hand side as well, so you can gain access to that. Otherwise, yeah, this is, I would say, one of the less quirkier maps out there, because there's a lot of bases. I don't know if you've seen, there's like bases with like in-base natural bases and pocket goal bases and all this crazy nonsense. It's wild.
I saw some map that has like, it has, the like e-boy or e-girl split hair dye, where it's like you have like black on one side and red on the other, or you have like blonde on one side and black on the other. It was like that, but for the natural. It's like the blonde gold minerals and then the blue minerals.
Yes, exactly. They're crazy.
The e-girl split dye map.
The map, it's going through some things. It's a phase. Hopefully it's a phase. Fingers crossed. As we do see KevinLiu getting into a standard opener, we haven't spoken too much about our players here, but of course Oreo, he's a bit of a favorite on the channel from the CranKy Ducklings. No bias whatsoever. But KevinLiu, he's been a namesake for a while as well. He isn't the most known player. He's not like Oliveira or Coffee, but like he's been around the block for a couple of years here, like a pretty consistent player in our region.
Yeah, the play's looking pretty solid so far. Very standard, just going for 3cc, so it looks like he's fairly confident. But on the side of Oreo, ZvT is absolutely his best matchup, and he's going to be very comfortable playing a standard game. 100%.
Oreo, usually when we hear the balance whining or the crying, it's usually about, the Protoss, mainly the Protoss, really. So thankfully, he doesn't have to deal with that. He's up against a Terran player instead, and as you mentioned, this is also a matchup that has been impacted the least in the new patch when it comes to the changes. More than anything, I would say maybe it's favored Zerg players just because the Widowmine has been adjusted, and that will impact how the Widowmine interacts with Lingbane.
Alright, so nothing's changed there. Still favors Zerg players, and they'll still complain about it just a little bit, just enough to not get nerfed too much.
Copious.
I see how it is.
But yeah, I don't know if you saw the change. It was the wind mine. The radius was slightly reduced, I believe, when it comes to splash damage, and I think it also does a little bit less damage radius-wise as well, like the further out it is.
Yeah, something like that. And they have the big line because I don't know, everyone who doesn't play Terran, like the brain's not quite there and the full capacity. You need a little bit of help, which is, you know, we're gracious. We'll let you have it.
It's less about the brain. It's more about our eyes. Okay, I'm blind, Bobby. I can't see anything, mate. Even with my glasses.
Yeah,
mate.
but
you want me to keep track of this like thin line, mate? Oh my god.
To me, it's like, do you want to see? Like, I don't think you want to see that. That's what I was thinking when I heard that there's a change that it gives you an alert when it's about to attack. All that I was thinking is, it just means when you're playing ZvT, not only do you get hit by the mines, but you get to see as well, because it reminds you right before it happens.
I like it. So what you're saying is really it was a buff to Terran, because now you like win the mental battle, because now you're forcing Zerg players to see their units die.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay, interesting build coming out from the Terran here though, as we think about the mental of the gameplay. He's gone for a Hellbat build here. I do know that these are a bit less committed than they used to be because the armor is quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah, that was a change in the new patch, which is the cost of the armory. Third base being taken. Interesting choice here as KevinLiu is mining through those mineral patches. Is going to be expanding towards left-hand side. At the same time, Banshees, they do hit that main base, and we are getting some damage done here. Ooh, but a Banshee goes down.
Yeah, Banshee goes down, losing 2 drones there. Oreo is going to be pretty happy with this defense so far. At the same time, it looks like the Hellbats, they didn't really do too much, but like we were talking about before, only 50 gas for that armory, and you're going to need it later anyway, so we don't really need to look at Hellbat builds the same way as we used to, where that kind of thing would be a pretty big deal before.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting though nonetheless, because I haven't seen too much of this faster armory play, but as you mentioned, you know, it is something you can do. And Kevin, he's invested quite a lot into these Hellions. It's not mech by any means, but how many Hellions do we have? That's going to be 14 Hellions. Oh my god.
14? Yeah, this is very strange. I know Clem would occasionally do 12 Hellion builds, where he would, send the 12 Hellions and a Liberator at the same time. But I remember it hitting a lot earlier than this. The only thing that I'm thinking now is maybe he's faking mech, or at least faking... It looks like Blue Flame to me, but Oreo's not really reacting as if it's not bio.
Yeah, it's Ling Bane Hydra, right? Like, when you don't have roaches, we're not investing into roaches either. Meanwhile, the Hellions are going for a dive. Queens are coming in for a bit of an intercept as well, and the Hellions, they should be able to barely get out. Lings are trying to get us around here, but it looks like we should be able to roast them up.
Yeah, the Ling's going to be dribbling through and they all go down, but a decent amount of damage on these Hellions. The main thing for Oreo is just defending his mineral lines. He doesn't really mind losing Lings at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Barely lose any workers, so really good defense here out of Oreo. He's able to maintain himself. On top of that, his crease rate isn't looking too bad either. As I say that, Kevin is going to be able to clean up some of these tumors, and more importantly, his third base is up and running. Like, he has been left untouched as we do catch some more Hellions.
Yeah, a couple of these Hellions being caught out buys enough time for the Queens to get into position, and I'm getting the feeling with this map as well, it's probably going to favor whoever can get the most momentum, just because if you can start to take control of these center bases, they're going to be really hard to take back.
Yeah, definitely, and I mean, Oreo, he's already expanding here towards the center as well, even spreading creep towards the left-hand side, and once he does have these bases, as you mentioned, he's going to have such an easier time dealing and even intercepting some of these big fights with some of these big move-outs. Meanwhile, Kevin, it looks like he does want to expand towards the left-hand side. It looks like he's headed towards that hybrid base. He's going for it.
Yeah, gonna start expanding pretty aggressively towards the Terran. Really nice scout there by Oreo. Does get that Ling in, sees where the fourth is going to be, sees how saturated the third is as well, so should know exactly what's going on. I am a little bit worried for him though. His upgrades are pretty far behind those of the Terran.
Yeah, 1-1 is still kicking in. He prioritizes his hydras instead. Meanwhile, at the same time, we try to focus down that infestation. And mine shot, is going to be going off here. The on-burrow 1 second too late.
Wow, beautiful Ling splits there by Oreo. That was very nicely done.
Very well done there. He saves the infestation mid just barely as well, so he's going to be able to keep that up and running. At the same time, a Ling Bane run by here does hit the mineral line. Good reaction out of Kevin, and only loses 4 SCVs. Again, that could have been so much worse as his reinforcements are in position.
Yeah, he's on top of it, but I'm worried about this fourth base here. It looks like Oreo doesn't want to fully commit, knowing that the army is in position, but I'm still not really feeling like this is the strongest army here for the Terran. You can see just how far he's been set back by going for all of those hellbats.
Yeah.
And now I'm sure Oreo will be looking to split up his army in two and start putting pressure on the other side as well.
Exactly. Like, this isn't the most defendable base either. It's here on the low ground. You know, there aren't as many places to take advantage of when it comes to the terrain as well for the Terrans. So we'll see if KevinLiu can hold on to it. At the same time, he's going for a split push. Likewise, Oreo trying to get eyes on any other would-be expansion here. Again, I'm really just interested in how KevinLiu is expanding and how he's approaching this here. Could even be looking to expand even right outside the bases of Oreo.
Yeah, it looks like Oreo just wants to poke here at the natural, and there's not much here to defend, so things are going to start to get a little bit wild here. The Banelings are going to be running in. They clear the way for the Lings if they want to run in after.
They did clear the way, but big mine shots go off. We get a couple of Lings getting into the mineral line, but for the most part, we do minimize our losses. Good defense here by KevinLiu. At the same time, Oreo trying to hit that fourth base, but the planetary is done.
Yeah, there's a lot of mines here as well. He is going to be able to get some cleanup here, but not the most efficient trade for Oreo.
Yeah, not the best trade. He is going to be forced back. At the same time, triple job moving out on the right-hand side, but Oreo, he is tracking this army. He should be able to clean this up. As I say that, the Banelings, they do head over towards the right-hand side, and the unload does complete.
Yeah, he has lost a fair bit of his supply here, so that does make things a bit more difficult, but he's also done a really good job of just constantly tracking where everything is, so it's going to be a little bit hard to hold on here, but at least he has a pretty good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, he's aware of the pushes, but can he deal with them? As we do see KevinLiu attempting to lay siege upon the main base, has made his way all the way across the map. At the same time, the triple drop on the right-hand side is still being very much so active, and Oreo, he's being spread a little bit thin here, and he doesn't have much creep to work with. This choke point is brutal.
Yeah, this is a really difficult position to deal with. Oreo's going to slow this down with the Queens. He does have 2-2 just kicking in now. That's going to be really helpful with these engagements, and great connections with the Banelings on the Hellbats.
Yeah, very nice connections there. Lings, they flood on in. Where are the Marines? Where's the army? KevinLiu does not have enough here. At the same time, though, he gets 24 drones across the map.
Yeah, good multitask there. That double drop's getting a lot of damage, so now Oreo needs to get some counter damage going.
Really does. Again, his economy is in shambles. He's down to 61 workers. The drop is still getting damage done. More drones are going down, and Oreo, he's going all the way towards that planetary, but we have reinforced his position, and do we have enough to deal with this? Where are the Banelings?
Yeah, the Banelings coming in now. That should be enough to take out this PF, but Oreo needs to make sure that he protects the Banelings on their way in.
Oh my god, they do manage to get into the mineral line, and the planetary is going to be going down. It's going to be close. Marauders are coming out. Looks like Oreo does not have enough. He forces the cancel the base, gets 14 SCV kills, but KevinLiu will hold.
That cancel isn't massive though. The Terrans now drop down to 3 bases, doesn't have a 4th even on the way, so he's put into a pretty awkward position now.
He is in an awkward position. He may be forced to maybe even lift up his main base. I still got resources mining in the main. Despite that though, the drop's still getting more damage done. The hatchery getting very low as well. Both players are hurting here in the economy, and it's getting quite scrappy.
Yeah, his drop has done a hell of a lot here for KevinLiu, but looks like Oreo will eventually be able to clean it up now. And yeah, both players, as you're saying, pretty scrappy situation, pretty low on supply. I am a little bit worried for the Terrans because they've been switching into ghosts here, so the supply is going to be a little bit lower. It's a bit of an awkward army to deal with now.
Yeah, as we can see here, it's very high-tech, right? We have Marauders, we have tanks, we have ghosts. Not a lot of Marines are available here, and KevinLiu is going to be stuck at home. We do see another CC on the way, but it's barely halfway done. It's going to take quite some time for KevinLiu to get his economy back up and running. And Oreo, he's now dealt with the drop. He's now freely droning up.
Yeah, exactly. And like you're saying, this is an army. It's good when it stays at home for the Terran, but it's not really that effective at attacking because, I mean, there's tanks, there's Marauders. Not too much firepower in the way of Marines, like you're saying, so he kind of just has to sit back and chill, which means Oreo is going to be able to catch back up quite easily.
Exactly. Oreo, he has breathing room here to just recover, to just situate himself, and KevinLiu can't stop him. You know, the drops earlier were amazing. They did so much damage, more than we thought would happen here, but it looks like it may just not be enough at this point, as Oreo is going to be free to remax. He's already droned back up to 75, he can drone up to 80, and he has Hive Tech. Vipers have arrived.
Yeah, and I mean, that drop as well, the multitask was so good, but I feel like what's happened here is it's the first game jitters, and now he's woken up Oreo. He should have saved the cracked multitask for later.
Exactly, Oreo, now he's awake, now he's all over the map as well. The creep is still looking solid, and you can see here that Oreo, he's just making sure that there's no other expansions going on. He knows that, honestly, Oreo doesn't have to force the issue. He doesn't have to push into this entrenched position. Oreo can just engulf the map, max out, and oh, we're not quite in position here. This base looking very vulnerable.
We found the deepers. That's going to be a lot of supply being lost. Beautiful link split there. Still plenty of attention to detail coming out from Oreo, even as he attacks in here. And he's just going to ransack this natural. As the Terran army responds, he can just get out of there as well.
Yeah, and such a heavy supply block there. The armory, it's barely not going to go down, but it may burn down regardless here. Big supply block there for KevinLiu, and Oreo, he's free to back off. That does burn down in the end.
Yeah, a little bit sad there, and oh, that's so annoying. Even got the Lings blocking the base there. Looks like he might not have enough energy for a scanner. He hasn't noticed yet, but Oreo is relentless. He's going to keep working at trying to spread the army this way, that way. It's not going to be the most efficient fight, but he just needs to take the tanks out.
Yeah, it takes down 2 tanks, backs up. There's a handful of tanks behind this. The army is getting in position. We even have some Liberators. Queens are going to be thrown away, but as you mentioned, Oreo, all he has to do is back off, regenerate energy here on his Vipers, and max out once again. And hit timing here with 3-3.
Yeah, it kind of feels like it's just a matter of time for the Terran now, and yeah, it looks like he's recognizing that as well. Feels like he needs to go for a push here. Is a pretty good position here. Nice and choked up. The minerals still haven't been clear, but yeah, Oreo's just going to jump right on top of this, and this might be the end here.
Yeah, big blinding cloud on the armor. We engulf the entire force. We have a couple of tanks. Mine shot's going to be going off, but again, there's just not enough Terran. We even yoink the final medevac. GG gets called, and Oreo takes game at number 1.
GG, very nicely played there by Oreo, and well played by the Terran as well. He was keeping up for a lot of that game, and the drop just got so much damage, that little double drop that was going in the bottom right there, but it wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, it wasn't enough. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to hold on to that planetary, wasn't able to survive the counterattack from Oreo. It was very close though, and imagine if maybe he remember that canceled the canceled 5th CC, like if that was placed further back, if that survived, maybe we can retake that 4th base a lot faster and we can keep things going. Like that defense was so on a knife's edge, and you know, that wasn't insurmountable for KevinLiu. You know, that game wasn't completely out of his hands.
Yeah, that extra base while it was building might have been better tucked away at that 3rd, just because there's not really any attack angle into the 3rd, but True. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake that I make all the time, and I've lost a lot of games because of it.
Yeah, you just want to get your 4th base, or sorry, your 5th base up and running as quickly as possible, but you know, at times you can be punished for that. That is a good point that you made. Because the expansion pattern of KevinLiu, that 3rd base was pretty safe and pretty well fortified, so you can kind of make use of that in other ways. Definitely something, or a big feature of that map to bear in mind in the future, as we're loading into an older map instead.
Oh yeah, I know this one.
Yeah.
Well, actually, intros first, story later.
Okay, here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Alkione, we have our red Terran player here. We have a red Terran. It is KevinLiu.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, his neck is covered in hickeys from last night. He is still hung over. He can barely see the screen at all. It is playing for the CranKy Ducklings. Oreo.
You're an animal, Pop. You're an animal. Oh, his back hurts. You know, his legs don't work. You know, he's in a wheelchair.
He left his wallet and his shoes at the club. He had to walk home in bare feet. His feet are bleeding because he had to walk all the way home.
Yes, exactly.
Doesn't stop him from playing StarCraft.
That's how much passion he has, mate. That's how much passion. You know, he's wearing sunglasses. You know, his head hurts. Like he's suffering from tinnitus. He can barely hear from all that blaring music. He was actually dancing right next to the speaker last night as well, and he's still playing.
He's still got the music going because he's been up since last night, and if he doesn't have the music going, he'll fall asleep.
There you go. There you go. Hashtag Oreo in the club.
The important story that I had to ask is, when you're in Poland, did you see the cat that's on Google Maps?
Excuse me?
There's a cat that lives in Poland that has its own location on Google Maps.
Oh. I didn't know there was a Poland cat.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
I did not.
Hopefully they're still alive. That would be really sad.
Oh my god. Unfortunately not. I thought you had a story about the map when you told about Alkione. I was like, oh, I'm ready for an Asher game, but yeah, no.
Okay. Did you make any cans?
I think I did. Did I?
You wouldn't remember.
Look, it was a long time
Yeah.
ago. Okay,
It's all a blur.
It's all a blur, Papi. It's all a blur. Hi.
Did you get to go out much while you were there?
Yeah. You know, I went to IEM, of course. Went to IEM, got to meet everyone. Had a pretty great time at the event. I was able to explore the city a little bit. I still casted every day. I casted more in Poland than I did now that I'm back in Australia because I'm sick. But yeah, you know, I got to experience some of Poland. Yeah. It's good.
You casted more in Poland because you're sick. You're like fully sick. It's got nothing to do with coming back here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Gotcha. Did you get pierogi?
Yeah, of course.
Several times?
Yeah, as often as I could.
Yeah, okay, nice. Every meal.
I got to experience. Oh god, it's all blending together. Yeah, I did the best that I could to get as much like Polish cuisine as possible to like you know, because I feel like you don't really get like a lot of Polish food, right? Like that's not really much of a thing in the West, right? Like you got like Italian restaurants, right? You know, you got like Greek places, or like we have like a little like blend food here and stuff, but I don't know, you don't see many Polish like restaurants, right?
Yeah, no, totally. Like in Melbourne, I'd be able to tell you which street is like the Italian food street, and like which area is like where you get the Lebanese bakeries and that stuff. But I couldn't really tell you where like a Polish. I know there's a Polish restaurant, but I couldn't tell you where like the Polish area is.
Exactly. I know there's like one Polish restaurant in all of Sydney.
Okay,
I think there's only one. Yeah.
Okay, great scout for Oreo there. He sees the stim on the racks, and he sees that second racks coming down, so he knows it's going to be a 2-on-1 type build. Anyway, back to the food though, because nothing's going to happen too much yet. The thing that I always find weird about eating in other countries, it's not like the restaurants. It's when you run out of money and you have to cook for yourself, and you work out like what you can get from a supermarket in the other country.
No, I love the so I did a lot of cooking. I cook, Papi, I cook. And I did a lot of cooking there. But that is a challenge because obviously their supermarkets are very different to ours. Like they just sell different things. They have some things, they don't have other things, right? And they have things I've never seen before. So yeah, it's an experience in and of itself. Like just going to like the supermarket and like, trying to like live.
Yeah, there's always, you can't really remember what's missing, but you just, for some reason, can't find like a full meal at all.
Yeah.
At least that's what I found in England. I was like, if I want to have cup noodle, I'm sorted. Like, they've got plenty of that.
Yeah.
But if I want to actually like cook something, I'm trying to work out. I'm like buying like a bit of broccoli, and I've got like a sauce. I'm just kind of like, nah, what do I do with this? It's weird. It's really confusing.
For sure. Yeah, it's always great, like kind of experiencing that and trying to figure out like what's more common and what isn't as common as well. Like seafood isn't a big thing in Poland, right? Like it's mainly like pork or like poultry-based meat. There's not a lot of beef, I noticed, or like the beef that is there is like a little more expensive as well, which is interesting. So again, it's a lot more like pork or like chicken-based like meat, it feels. So yeah, I had to work around that. Different sauces, right? Different quantities. Yeah, it was interesting. It's good.
Ooh, Hellions do get caught out here. So far, it has seemed like Oreo has a little bit of a speed advantage over KevinLiu. It has shown in a few of the little interactions here and there, but this is a very well-timed 3cc 2-on-1, fourth coming down at a fantastic time as well. So this game's still totally up for grabs for the Terran.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, this 2-on-1 variation or esque build is now coming into play for KevinLiu, but Oreo, for the most part, he's ready for it. He's got Ling Bane, he's got his queens, able to force this back, even focusing down one of the medevacs as well. Very nice pick off there by Oreo.
Yeah, that's huge. That's really punishing for the Terran here. I mean, he's doing a good job with his build, getting that fourth up nice and early. Already going into mines, got those upgrades on the way as well. We can see again for Oreo, he's delaying his upgrades just to get Banelings a little bit earlier, so he's definitely playing it safe here.
Yeah, it is playing it safe. We do have a bit of a Ling run by here, trying to force some friendly fire, but the Lings are going to be cleaned up. But regardless, though, KevinLiu is forced back, and Oreo, he's free to just drone up and creep as much as he likes. He's already reaching the halfway mark, even further than that. I feel like this is really exemplifying, you know, why you did mention earlier how Oreo, his best matchup is ZvT, and you can see here that Oreo, he's looking pretty comfortable.
Yeah, so what Oreo is, for anyone who doesn't know, is a twitchy zoomer. And it turns out that ZvT is like the perfect matchup for twitchy zoomers, because you just do lots of stuff really fast. And if you're faster than the other guy, you just win.
It's kind of like Rainer, right? Like he's also a twitchy zoomer, you know? Or like Eva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know Eba's personality, but Raynor is 100% the twitchy zoomer.
No, Eba.
And then Oreo's like, he's like the secret twitchy zoomer. Like you wouldn't think he'd be, you know, in the club and then coming back hungover and playing at 600 APM, but he's like the dark horse twitchy zoomer.
Yeah, Eba's an animal, mate. He's got like 800 APM on average, and if you like watch his stream or if you watch his POV,
he uses it all on time.
He like types
he
while he's
uses all his
laddering.
APM.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was so funny watching him and Migs because they're the same. They both have like way
Yeah.
too much APM, more than they know what to do with.
Yeah.
And so it's like 6-7 minutes into the game and they're still chatting back and forth.
I think what's crazy to me, very often Eba, he streams without a mic, and while he's playing, he's like responding to people
he types in the chat?
Yeah, he types it in the chat to
Yeah.
people, like answering questions and stuff while he's playing. Like, what are you doing? You're an animal. Like, what is happening? Like, I just can't comprehend that. Like, how do you do that while you're playing?
Yeah, he's always got time to be mean to me in the chat. It's not fair.
Smooch.
I get bullied by Eba.
Oh god, he's an animal, puppy. He's an animal. But you know, now we're settling into our game, and again, we've seen some attempted harass, some attempted draw play here by KevinLiu, but Oreo, he's been able to keep up at every single turn, more so than the previous game. Again, a lot of this comes down to the map. Alkione is a larger map, longer rushes by grounds, and you can see that Kevin, he's had a much harder time actually being assertive on the map here against Oreo.
Yeah, he didn't really get the momentum he was looking for with the 2-on-1. It is such a tempo-based build. You really do need to have... it's not that you need to get like a lot of damage, but it relies on each step kind of building on the previous one. And yeah, Oreo looks extremely comfortable in this game. The map's purple. Like,
Yeah.
There's no other way around it.
Oreo, he's just all over this map right now. It's just drenched in Oreo, and even here the Marines are gonna get caught out. Good target power here on some of the medevacs as well. Thankfully, the full medevacs will escape. KevinLiu is on 4 bases, but taking a 5th base, that's gonna be a very, very, very difficult ask here for Kevin, as Creep is basically touching tips with every single other base.
Yeah, this tank's just going for a walkabout. If Oreo's a good guy, he'll let this go. And I think Oreo is a good guy. If I know him, we're gonna have to talk about this.
Smosh. The tank wasn't doing anything. It was just having a bit of a drive, you know?
It was just going on a little tour there.
Yeah.
Oreo could have been nice, but you know, he's just not that guy. I guess maybe caught him in a bad mood, you know, because he's a little bit hungover.
Yeah,
But here we go. Oreo is going to be crashing in on both sides. Has a pretty dominating amount of supply here. And yeah, KevinLiu just not able to micro in both places at once here. Massive Baneling connections.
Yeah, massive connections. Looks like KevinLiu, he will defend his natural and his 3rd base, but here on the right-hand side, 15 SCVs go down. A big connection there on the Ghost, on the Bio Army. Oreo from here can back off. He can remax, and he can get ready to go in once again. KevinLiu, he is struggling here, and it is just such an uphill battle. You know, how do we come back from this position? I would imagine it would be just drop play or just like turtling up, you know, pitching your tent, pulling a bit of a Migs, but at this point it may even be too late for that.
Yeah, I think it probably is a little bit late. I mean, everything's on fire. The thing that he does have going for him this time round is he does have those extra bases up a lot earlier. I think I can see a base over there next to the 3rd. Yeah, he's got that extra orbital. It's going to do a nice job blocking everything as well. So he has done a much better job getting those up quickly. But the other thing I'm a little bit worried about, he has been a bit slow to remake these SCVs. I think he's got enough now, but yeah, it's just a really tough spot to be in.
It really is, and Oreo, he's not going to make it easy here as he's getting ready for another push. As we can see here, Oreo, he did delay his Hive. Hive is just now on the way. He was more focused on maxing out with Lean Bane Hydra, but now with Hive Tech, he can gain access to 3-3, Adrenal, Vipers as well, and make it that much easier to break into these entrenched positions.
As a Zerg player, when you drop like all of the energy's worth of changelings, even if you don't need to, does that make you feel cool?
It does.
I've noticed Zergs, they put so much priority. They'll be doing it like in a fight. Like they'll be controlling other stuff in a fight, and they'll drop all the changelings before their overseer gets killed. And I'm just like, why?
It often
Does
doesn't
it feel
do
as good as
anything.
it looks?
It's like the dopamine, you know, the dopamine of like pressing a button and having like an action occur there.
Yeah.
It just
And that's why we play StarCraft, right?
True. It's like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of like, you tell me, like, how does it feel when you're a Terran player and you're like hyper-microing like 2 Marines with 1 medevac, right? Like,
let me stop you right there. No, it feels really good. Dropping, my favorite thing to do was dropping like 1 Marine on a Bane lane.
Yeah. No, but I can understand that
really
though,
good.
because that's like really efficient. That's like really good, you know?
Yeah, but I do it even if it wasn't. It's just like, you press the drop button and like green thing explodes. And then you see the Zerg start to like micro their Baneling so that it doesn't blow up. And that feels even better. Weirdly enough.
How does it feel? Have you ever in your career, in your journey playing StarCraft, have you ever like muled to like trap a unit to kill it? Have you been able to pull that off?
I've muled.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Not gonna lie, that feels good.
You're like, let me stop you right there, okay? You think I need to trap a unit? No. I could be losing. I'm gonna throw out a mule, and mate, the feeling that I get
You gotta let him know.
in my pants, it's amazing.
I've thought about this before, how I wish there was like the equivalent of muling someone, but in real life. Like,
oh my god.
you're just like in a work meeting and the meeting's really boring. And you just like, you get up to go to the bathroom, but you mule before you leave.
Oh god.
Or it's like you get the promotion over someone else, and you just like mule on their desk.
Oh god. What is the equivalent of muling though? What is that? Is that like, am I dating myself? Is that like dabbing? Like, is there like a modern dab? Like, what do people do?
I think maybe like when you go for a handshake, but then you like don't complete the handshake and you walk away.
That's dating ourselves. I don't think people do that anymore. I think I don't know.
Yeah. You can't do it with like the hair check. That's a bit overdone. But I don't know, you can make it look fake. Or it's like alphaing someone, you know, like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like if someone was like photocopying something and you're like, I've got this champ, and you just like shove past them and you start photocopying in between their jobs.
You just show them how it's done. You know, I'm the photocopy master, right? Like you know.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
Or maybe actually just champing someone. I think champing someone is muling.
You need to. What is champing someone? What is that?
Oh, we don't need to cast this. You know, it's kind of like it's just Banelig's hitting things. Everything's dying.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's a death animation.
It's fine. Yeah.
Champing someone is like, you know, when you do like the semi-ironic, like, oh yeah, all right, champ. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's kind of like it's like it's not a very nice thing to do. But it's like when you're patting someone on the back and you're like, yeah, good on you, champ. Yeah.
But like ironically though, not actually meaning it.
Yeah, ironically.
Okay. I see. It's like you're little broing someone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It is little broing.
Yeah.
I can't think of any examples because I'm too nice. I'd never do that. But
Of course.
It's
you
that.
know.
Yeah.
I see. Oh god. As I mean, this entire time Oreo, I mean, he's been looking dominant here. He's just pulling his opponent apart. Just too much of a lead early on. The Nexus Planetary is going to be going down, and KevinLiu is down to 3 bases. And you know, this is crazy, right? The comparison here between game 1 and game 2. I think you mentioned it before. You might be on point here. Where Oreo, he just needed to wake up, right? He needed game 1 to really just like to kind of slap him awake here and to get into the zone.
Yeah, I mean, these Niduses have been insane, and I'm really feeling for the Terran here because I know exactly what's happening here. I'm seeing all of the ghosts in the natural when they don't need to be in the natural, and what's happened here is every Terran has like a multitask limit. So it's kind of like this health bar or like this energy bar that slowly fills and fills and fills. And when you get overwhelmed with multitask, you just end up F2ing. There's nothing you can do about it. And then the game's just over from there.
Yeah, and I mean, again, like Oreo, he's been under no threat at all here for the past couple of minutes. Like, he's just freely expanding, taking more bases that he's been left untouched this entire time. Even though KevinLiu, he is holding, he's like barely surviving through these pushes. Like, is he really living though? And again, Oreo, he's under no threat here. He can just keep remaxing, keep rebuilding. He's chilling, big chilling.
Yeah, he's having fun here. And the Terran is holding on, but having a look at the supplier kind of tells the story. And now we have this ragtag army. There's a Viking here for some reason. We've got a few ghosts, a few Marines, a few orange health marauders. This is it's a bit of a sad and sorry sight.
Let's go. I mean, man, he knew corruptors were coming. He needs the Viking.
True.
Yeah.
I have seen people have been playing like Master Viking Live a little bit in TVZ, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh, okay, that's pretty crazy. Okay, I'm a little bit jealous. Like I'm not gonna lie, I have this past like 2 weeks of me being sick has been the least amount of StarCraft I've casted in like 4 years. Like I'm like barely casting once a day, and I feel sad in the loop. Like I feel like I
barely once a day. Yeah, man. That must be tough for you.
It's tough, but I like, mate, I feel like I don't know, like what are people doing nowadays on the new maps? Like, I haven't seen like Viking Live. Like, that sounds crazy. I haven't seen that. I want to see that.
Yeah, I saw that. So Migs is playing against Scarlet, and that's where I saw that. The other game that I saw recently was Day 9 has been casting a few games.
Yeah.
Ooh, that Viper got sniped.
Dude.
That was I've seen that on a certain website before.
Oh my God.
We do have the ghosts actually kind of doing some ghost things, getting some good value here.
Yeah, the ghosts have been popping off. You know, they're trading as efficiently as possible here. Not too bad here by KevinLiu, as finally for the first time he's breaking out of his shell, breaking out of his bases. As I say that, maybe I spoke too soon, as Oreo, he does collapse on this.
Yeah, the splits are good, but the blinding clouds are even better, and it looks like Oreo, he has finally put that last nail in the coffin, and those last few ghosts, they are going to be doing their best. I don't know, Kerrigan, is this what you're doing, Kerrigan survival? There's ghosts surviving, I'm kind of imagining.
Need to get Startup on the phone here as GG gets called, and Oreo will take the series 2-0, advancing on into the next round.
GG, Oreo gets that 2-0, and he is going to be well and truly warmed up here as well, so nice game, and good job from the Terran as well, mixing things up, playing some standard builds, playing really well, but Oreo ZvT, thing of legend, pretty tough to come up against.
Oh yeah, definitely. Again, no bias whatsoever, but Oreo doing so well here in his first series. I mean, again, we mentioned game 1 was a lot more back and forth. Game 1 was far closer, and I almost felt like it was going to set the tone here for the series. I was hoping for an ace match, but game 2, Oreo was so in control of that entire game. Scouting early on, confirming the 2-1-1 variation, and able to shut it down. And as you mentioned, like that kind of playstyle, that kind of build is very momentum based, and that's also why we don't really see it as often as we used to.
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those builds where if the Zerg gets a bit of a misread, you can get into a pretty insane position. Like on paper, it looks really good. You have the double drop pressure earlier than usual. You have all the economy of a 3cc. But Zergs have kind of worked out that they can really cut a few corners before that 2-on-1 hits.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, once Oreo did clean up that first medevac, it felt like that momentum never really went away.
Oh yeah, exactly. It was just all things in favor of Oreo from then on forward. GG, with that, he moves on to the next round. We can take a moment here to have a look at the bracket to catch up and figure out where Oreo is taking us. But before that, a big shout out to some people in the chat. A big shout out to... Oh, let me just quickly double check. Shin did gift a tier 1 sub to NXZ. So thank you so much to... for gifting that sub. Gracias, papi, gracias. Likewise, we also had a resub in the chat as well. We did have Babylings resubbing for 23 months, as well as Shiva Blaster resubbing for 28 months as well. So thank you so much for the support. Gracias.
Yeah, very nice. Giving that gift sub to Ryan because, you know, it's been a tough month, champ. I know that $5, it's a bit much, champ. We'll sort it out for you.
Yeah, yeah. You know, we do what we can to support Ryan. Este Ryan, shaking my head, shaking my head. Maybe next season we can make him play. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see and have a look at the bracket here. Let's go over some updates. Do we have any?
While you do that, I'm gonna look up a psychology thing for my story.